These are some Dinar Guru updates, starting off with Frank 26 question. Do you think Iraq will depose of, I think they meant dispose of current currency once revalued. Once they revalue, of course, they're going to get rid of the 30 notes. Frank says they will introduce the lower denominations and the fills to the citizens, but it needs to be a different exchange rate that would match it to give it value. The exchange rate right now is so low, there is no value. Mountain Goat says, so how long will us investors in the IQD have to wait before Iraq is allowed to liberate its own currency? Why do I say now is the time? We know they're completely out of Chapter 7 sanctions since December 2022. We know they want the Iraq funds, nearly USD 115 plus billion, released from the New York banks and put in their custody. We know they have plans for yet more sovereign funds to invest in their reserves. We know they're making agreements now for currency swaps for trade, as Iraq will no longer be using any US dollars in Iraq as of January 1st, 2024. We know the IMF is now working on the final stages of pulling together agreements to build a new basket of 6 currencies to repeg the IQD. More pressure from the Iraqi economics advisors to the government to use a basket of currencies for the new dinar peg. This is the IMF plan of 2011 all along. Mountain Goat goes on to say, we know since January they have undertaken a massive de-dollarization program and told it has taken 6 years, but they decided to do it in a year, 2023. Why in such a hurry? We know the value of IQD right now doesn't exceed even pre-1991 era, but still at 1/6 of a penny for a rate. Mountain Goat says the value won't go up, it's already there. Why is it being suppressed? Iraq needs to see a rate reflecting the true value and what's holding it back. Mountain Goat says we know Iraq now pumps 2/3 more oil than in pre-1991 era. Iraq also has announced 132 plus tons of gold reserves. We know they are pushing this year alone more than any other year since 2005 for the passing of the oil and gas law. Why? We know for a fact that it is in the US through the Treasury Department direction that will not give sign-off to allow the reinstatement. And there's still more coming from Mountain Goat on that subject. Okay, and also Bruce via Wiser Now says we have heard from one of our contacts in Iraq that not only do we have an international rate and an in-country rate, which are different for Iraq, but we also have Iraq trading that rate on the Iraqi dinar internationally. About when markets close Friday, banks close around 6 o'clock. Somewhere in that time frame, the Iraqi dinar, the new Iraqi dinar rate, will be trading internationally. And that we should see here in the US. Now that we know the dinar closed Thursday, we know where it was a couple of days ago. And Bruce is referring to Tuesday. This is from yesterday, the 19th. And he says it's still really strong. Trading range way above the international rates and way above the in-country rate for Iraq. One of our very strongest, highest banks and sources is saying that we will have our notifications by or before Saturday, this coming Saturday. So I think we're almost home. Mark Z says via PDK question, any word on any whales being paid or any NDAs? Mark Z says I am hearing a ton about it, but have not been able to verify anything. I have talked to a number of them. They have great expectations, are expecting payments very soon. They've been told we will have a quote-unquote ironclad NDA. Mark Z says, I think that is their way of saying when I can't say anything, that this means they have funds and NDAs signed. But they're still talking right now. These are the facts I have from people involved. Militiaman says they're taking the public and the private sector and they're merging them together so they can move this into a full-blown market economy.